This is using absolute value to simplify square roots of perfect square monomials. So this topic is to sort of help you understand the difference between trying to solve an equation and taking the square root. But sorry, I'm kind of getting a little bit off topic there. Let me zoom in just a bit. Okay, basically what the rule is for these is whenever you're taking the square root of something that has an exponent, you're just going to divide that exponent by 2, because taking the square root of something is the same as raising it to the 1/2 power. So to take the square root of x to the 12th, that's actually the same as having x to the 12 divided by 2, or x to the 6th. So down here, 10 divided by 2 is 5, so this is going to be y to the 5th. Now, if you've tried this topic, you know sometimes it seems like you need absolute values, sometimes you don't. It says use the absolute value button only when necessary. Okay, so here's how you tell. If you end up, after you've taken the square root and divided your exponent by 2, if this is even in the answer, if that's an even exponent, then you do not need absolute values. Because if you raise any number, x, if you plug anything in for x, and you raise it to the 6th power, or an even exponent, you're going to always get a positive value. X to the 6th is always going to be positive, so absolute values are redundant. But down here, I'm going to need absolute values, because 5 is an odd number. So if I plugged in something odd for y, if I raise it to the 5th power, it'll still be odd. And we want, whenever we take the square root of something, it should always work out to be positive. So remember that if you are doing something like, for example, square root of 16, you always write that this is just 4. You don't write plus or minus 4. And so if you then are solving an equation, when you take the square root of both sides, what we often leave out when we're solving an equation this way is really what we have here is absolute value of x, not just x, and then equals 4. And it's this absolute value that causes us to go, oh, plus or minus, so that you get those two different answers. So that's kind of the point of this topic. But basically, once you take your square root, divide your exponent by 2. If it's an even exponent still, no absolute values. But if it's an odd exponent, you need to put absolute values on there.